Continuing coverage, a Taylor County Sheriff's deputy in the hospital recovering after he was shot during a traffic stop last night. It prompted a statewide search for the suspect. Thanks for joining us here at 5. I'm Eden Schultz.
And I'm Julie Montanaro. We first broke that story last night at 11. The shooting prompting a blue alert, one of only 4 issued in the past decade. The shooting happening during a traffic stop on US 19 near Deer Run Road. That's about 25 miles south of Perry. About 9 hours later, the suspect was shot and killed near Steinhatchee, just across the Taylor-Dixie County line.
Taylor County Deputy Troy Anderson is now recovering at Shands Hospital in Gainesville. He was shot multiple times. FDLE says the suspect is 33-year-old Gregory Medema of the Fort Myers area. He was a registered sex offender after serving 4 years in prison for having sex with a minor. We do have 2 reporters on this story today. Jacqueline Harold was at the scene where the suspect was found dead. But let's start with Savannah Kelly, who just got an update in Taylor County this afternoon. Savannah.
That's right. The Taylor County Sheriff said that Deputy Troy Anderson will be undergoing reconstructive surgery on his face as he's recovering in Shands Hospital in Gainesville. Now, he said that they are expecting him to make a full recovery, but that it's going to be a long road ahead. Anderson's uncle put out a statement on asking for continued prayers and thanking the thousands of people who have reached out to share words of encouragement. Anderson is a member of TCSO's K-9 unit. He was previously employed by the sheriff's office and was rehired about 6 months ago. Investigators say Anderson was shot during a routine traffic stop, but are not detailing the reason for the stop.
Our officer is in the hospital right now. He's fixing to go under reconstructive surgery for his face and where the bullet entry entered. He's stable right now. Everything seems to be going in a good direction.
Sheriff's Association presented Anderson's wife Heather with financial assistance from the Lend a Hand Fund while she stays in Gainesville with her husband. The Taylor County Sheriff also said that they will be setting up a fund so that community members and anyone who wants to donate can directly help to fund Anderson's recovery. For now, live in Taylor County, Savannah Kelly, WCTV Eyewitness News.
Yeah, Savannah, thankful that he's doing well this afternoon, and our best wishes on the recovery ahead.
Now we turn to Jacqueline Harold, who has more on where the suspect was found after more shots were fired. Jackie.
Well, it was still a very active scene when I arrived near Steinhatchee in rural Dixie County, where the suspect was shot and killed. Several state troopers and even crime scene tape still around the home where Gregory Medema was shot to death. Dixie County Sheriff Darby Butler says Medema tried to barge into a home, but the homeowner exchanged gunfire with him, and the 33-year-old was killed.
When Eagle enters your home, you need to protect yourself, because at that point you are the first line of defense. And I stand on that, Sheriff Padgett stands on that. Until we can get there, exercise those rights and keep evil out of your homes and protect your loved ones.
Sheriff Butler says investigators found the suspect's car and several firearms at the scene. He also thanked surrounding law enforcement agencies for really stepping up and helping at both shooting scenes. Now, the homeowner that shot and killed Medema was taken to the hospital for injuries, including a gunshot wound, but he has since been released from the hospital. Officials say there were 2 occupants in the home when Medema broke in. Live in Taylor County, Jacqueline Harold, WCTV Eyewitness News.
Our thanks to Jackie and Savannah. And later at 6, more on that Florida blue alert issued after this deputy shooting and how that whole system works. That's at 6.
More than 7 months later, the tragedy in Surfside, Florida still haunts a lot of people, especially survivors, victims' families, and first responders. Yeah, the condo collapse forcing search and rescue crews to jump into action, including from right here in the Big Bend. Jacob Murphy is live at the Capitol, where the state fire marshal honored a local crew this afternoon. Jacob, tell us more.
Yeah, Eden CFO Jimmy Petronas spoke at Tallahassee's Fire Station 1 earlier this afternoon, honoring Urban Search and Rescue Task Force 7, the group based right here in Tallahassee. He gave them challenge coins, a tradition he says that dates back to Rome. On the coin, the image of the collapsed towers, a reminder of the grueling 9 days spent by this task force in Miami-Dade County. The event also to campaign for $10 million to fund these task forces in the state budget. Captain Alan Willis with TFD and the task force says he saw firsthand what more funding could mean for rescue teams. How it is to live with the memory of Surfside each and every day, having responded there. I'll share that perspective coming up at 6 o'clock. But for now, reporting live outside the Capitol, Jacob Murphy, WCTV Eyewitness News.
A tough assignment, I'm sure, Jacob. We'll see you at 6. Thank you. Now to a story we've been following since midday. A brush fire breaks out in a wooded area on Tallahassee's north side. Crews spent several hours on scene before they got the flames under control there. That fire along Cold Harbor Drive, that's off of Ox Bottom Road near Thomasville Road. The fire's near an assisted living center and a Bull Run neighborhood. Brandon Spencer is at the scene and joins us now with the story. Brandon?
Now, well, Eden, Julie, as you can see behind me, the scene is clear now as about 7:45 p.m. this afternoon. But just hours ago, at the height of this fire, there were several units on the scene. Now, according to TFD, this bushfire started at about 11:30 a.m. here near Cold Harbor Drive due to dry weather-related conditions. And when they responded to the scene, they saw a small bushfire, which quickly spread. Specific reason to why this fire started, they're still investigating this area. Reporting live in Tallahassee, Brandon Spencer, WCTV Eyewitness News.
Okay, Brandon, thank you.
A terrible accident. That's what the Lowndes County Sheriff is calling the death of Kendrick Johnson, a teen who was found dead inside a rolled-up gym mat at Lowndes High School back in 2013. But Kendrick's family still believes he was murdered. They spoke out today in Valdosta a day after the sheriff released a synopsis saying there was no foul play. Savannah Kelly was at the press conference this morning. Let's join her live in Valdosta right now. Savannah, what can you tell us?
Well, Johnson's family said they don't believe the sheriff's investigation. In fact, some of them are here right now outside the Valdosta courthouse protesting, some chanting, "Our sheriff is a liar." Now, Lowndes County Sheriff Ashley Polk yesterday said based on what he's seen, he's 100% sure there was no foul play. In today's press conference, Kendrick's father, Kenneth Johnson, accused the sheriff of trying to cover up the truth of what happened to his son. Now, the sheriff, Ashley Polk, said that although he feels for the family's loss, he was just presenting a synopsis of evidence from an investigation from the federal government, and that none of that evidence pointed to foul play. Live in Valdosta, Savannah Kelly, WCTV Eyewitness News.
All right, Savannah, thank you.
Powered by WCTV.tv. Eyewitness News at 4 starts now.
Happening now, Sally leaving a trail of destruction. This is the scene from Orange Beach, Alabama. Those are streets, and really you just see them covered in water. Scenes like this, not unfamiliar there after the storm moved through. Neighborhoods and buildings destroyed, boats are overturned. You see this gas station on that roof just tattered.
Yeah, and closer to home, the Panhandle taking a hit as well. On the left, palm trees at Walton Beach bending under the force of strong winds. And on the right, sheets of rain and wind ripping through Pensacola.
A live look closer to home. This is the Ocklawahnee Bay Bridge, and it was the Ocklawahnee Bay Bridge. And you can see there that the water are a little bit high, and that's what we've been experiencing mainly in our area. Some wind, but lots of kind of, flooding in some spots, and also the rain and those rising water levels.
Yeah, we want to thank you for joining us today at 4 o'clock. I am Katie Kaplan.
And I'm Ben Kaplan. Okay, good news is Sally made landfall as a hurricane, now been downgraded to a tropical storm. Mike McCall tracking this for us. He continues to do so. And Mike, what's the latest with Sally right now?
Well, flooding continues to be the biggest issue.
Right now, on alert, the potential for severe weather across the Big Bend in South Georgia growing as we get closer to the overnight hours. This is a live look right now outside the St. George Island Bridge. Gray skies and rain right now over most of the area. Thanks for joining us tonight at 5:30. I'm Ben Kaplan.
And I'm Abby Walton. For the very latest on how things are shaping up right now, we want to send it straight over to Chief Meteorologist Mike McCall. Mike, what are things looking like right now?
Well, like last night, the evening hours, just kind of a good time to just keep an eye on things and see how they develop.
Happening now, you are looking live in Fulton County, Georgia. Voting for the 2 U.S. Senate runoff race is now over. We are still waiting for the results. You can see in the back of this room, beyond where those people are standing, poll workers still counting ballots late into the evening. The first race between incumbent Senator David Perdue and Democratic candidate Jon Ossoff, a heated one. Perdue refusing to debate Ossoff since the two faced off in October before the general election. Now let's take a look at where things stand with the candidates so far. Again, these are unofficial results. There is just 61% of precincts reporting right now. It looks like David Perdue having a slight edge over Jon Ossoff right there. But again, just 61% of the precincts reporting. Now let's take a look at the second race, also contentious, between Senator Kelly Loeffler and Reverend Raphael Warnock. Loeffler fighting to hold on to the seat she was appointed to by Governor Brian Kemp a year ago. Let's take a look at where this race stands right now. Again, 61% of precincts reporting. Again, these are unofficial results at the moment. Votes still coming in. Again, it looks like Loeffler having a slight edge over Warnock here. But again, these numbers are really switching back and forth throughout the evening. Thanks for joining us, everybody, at 10. I'm Abby Walton. It is not just Georgia, but the entire nation really tonight watching these two races. The reason the outcome of both races will determine which political party controls the U.S. Senate. And the lead up to today's voting has been campaign mayhem, with candidates and high-profile supporters flooding the state trying to turn out that vote. However, many polling places actually seeing the opposite today, including in Atlanta.